5 concepts you need to understand to be fluent in Japanese. Number 1. Yo and ne particles. If you didn't saw my video on yo and ne particle, I recommend you to go and watch it. If you did, the next step is start using them. Japanese people use them a lot, especially in informal conversations. They will always be like, oishii ne, puru ni koyo, and stuff like that. So what you want to do to not sound like a Google translator is to sometimes use the particle when you feel it's appropriate. If you don't, then you will sound weird and unemotional, unnatural, unfluent. Number 2, context. Omitting and contraction. Japanese people like to omit a lot. They omit particles, words, and sometimes even sentences. I recommend you watching some Japanese content where you see the subtitles or even just listening to Japanese because you want to know when it is appropriate to omit some particles, words, or even the sentences. It is another thing you are going to do if you do not want to sound like a Google translator. Also, I said contraction, and contraction is taking a word or sentence and shortening it by removing certain hiragana. For example, miteiru to miteru. If you have a sentence, テレビを見ている or even 私はテレビを見ている omitting omit 私は because it is obvious that I'm talking about myself テレビを見ている you are informal so you can omit even the おテレビ見ている and contraction テレビ見てる In Japanese there is a rule everything that is unnecessary is weird and people are going to notice that you are unnatural. By the way, if you want to learn a lot of faster and go even further in learning Japanese, go check the first link in the description, which is my full Japanese course for beginners, where I teach you a lot of more details and a lot of more concepts. I also teach you how to prevent stupid mistakes and sounding weird by teaching you how to actually speak, not how to write or how to speak weirdly, which for some reason some apps or textbooks are teaching you. So go join my community. And let's go to number 3, which is step form. Maybe you know the basics of step form. For example, tetsudatte, help me. When you do step form, you ask someone to do the thing for you. But there are also a lot of more ways how to use step form. For example, you can use it to say because. You have to use it if you want to speak in present tense. You can use step form when you want to say I'm doing something whilst doing something else, and a lot of more usages. So we want to learn all the ways to use it to understand it better. Number 4, ageru, kureru, and morau. Maybe you heard of it, maybe you didn't, but Japanese people have 2 words for giving something to a person. One is ageru, which is used when you give something to someone else, and second is kureru, which is when someone else gives something to you. Now there are also a lot of more rules that apply to this. For example, when your friend gives something to a stranger, it is ageru, and it can be hard to understand. I have a video on it, so you can go and check it. If you don't, at least learn the concept because it is quite important, and without it, you will sound weird. Number 5, and third way to not sound like a Google translator, pitch accent. If you want to imagine what a pitch accent is, when a Japanese person speaks, he is also singing. And if you want to speak correctly and sound natural in Japanese, you have to sing the correct notes. For example, taberu is taberu. Low, high, low. There are only 2 notes, which makes it simpler than singing every word. But every word can have low, high, low, 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 high, 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 low. Every Japanese sentence is going to have a lot of words, and each of them has its own pitch accent, its own notes, which you have to remember. And if you don't say them correctly, you sound less fluent, and you can even be misunderstood. So you want to learn pitch accent, but it is hard, so you can go slowly. I recommend you consuming some Japanese content, because it will make a lot of easier for you. But if you don't, you will have to learn each word on its own. There are some rules that make it easier, but still. That are the 5 concepts. If you learn all 5 of them, then you will sound a lot of more fluent. I have videos on some, so you can go and watch them. Goodbye.